Make your way over to their website and check out the things that they're doing. I am passionate about the new learning and the new information, and that's going to be part of our armor that we have as we go forward, is making sure a couple bits of armor, making sure that we're plugging into these organizations. Okay. And listen, guys, the local organizations and the organizations that, excuse me, maybe national, like the Center for American Progress, are hugely important to us strengthening and stouting ourselves up for this fight that we're already in, that's only going to get more intense. Okay. And the Center for American Progress is one of those organizations that will give us the energies that we need and the information that we need to be able to share with people who are doubters, or maybe doubters, all right, is one group, but the willfully ignorant and stubbornly arrogant folks, we're going to need to be stouted up to do our best to try to inform them, or at a minimum push them back when they come at us with some garbage. And you guys know that the word garbage is my nice word for the four-letter word that I can't say on the air. That's my word. My garbage is my word for that four-letter word that he can't say on the air. But I want you guys to be stouted up. And one of the ways is to follow organizations like the Center for American Progress, and try to reach out to Mark. And I believe this in all my heart. If you ask folks like this, how can I help? What can I do? How can I learn more? Where can I go? They will tell you. They will give you an answer. They're not going to say, well, I don't know. They're going to say, well, thank goodness for reaching out to us. We need folks like you that want to be part of what we're doing. We can't pay you anything, but if you're looking to be a volunteer or just be someone that's going to help us in terms of spreading our message, they're going to love that. I can promise you, because I've done it personally. I am that guy that sends letters to groups and organizations to say, hey, what about this? What about this? How can I get involved? What can I do? And then going back to Wednesday, we had our great friend Kurt Mullen with us. And I like to do this recap because I want to remind, because if you weren't listening on a particular day and you're listening today, I want to make sure that you know who we've been talking to. Kurt Mullen, our great friend from Hoosier Blue 63. Get with him on his socials because he's doing lots of great stuff. And also we had Kate Lincoln Goldfinch on with us, the immigration attorney that's down in Texas. If you do nothing other than send her some shout outs every now and again and help her, let her know that we've got her back from wherever you are in the country, I'm telling you, it's sort of my observation about these things. It's going to do two things. It's going to let them know that you don't have to turn around. We got your back. And we're supporting the work that you're doing when it comes to immigration. And she's in a tough fight. The second thing it's going to do is it's going to continue to empower you to go, I'm in this thing. I'm reaching out to people that I heard about on WCPT from the interviews that Richard and Joan and Patty do, and Edwin and out Chicago, and the list goes on. But I'm reaching out to these folks. It's going to make you feel good, and that's part of this. See, I keep coming back to this because it's in me. We have to keep refueling ourselves, and sometimes refueling is when you give of yourself to an organization that needs you, or an individual that needs to hear from you or know that you're out there. Sometimes that's all it is. I'm serious, guys, and I know you guys know I'm serious in saying that. So reach out to Mark. Reach out to Mark Derrick, Mark Jarsulik with the Center for American Progress. Reach out to Kate Lincoln Goldfinch with the immigration attorney in Texas. And then the fun stuff that we had on Monday and Tuesday when we had the blessing to have Roderick Dixon, Alfreda Burke, who were here for talking about their performance, Too Hot to Handle, the jazz gospel, and Christmas Carol, Jacob Harvey, the Studebaker Theater, and my nerd out space, the Fine Arts Building. Reach out to them as well. People that are doing work and doing things that you appreciate and enjoy, let them know you're in their corner. If there's, again, as I said before and certainly said this week, if there's a gift you can give to somebody, sometimes it's just to let them know, I got you. I seriously got you. I'm here for you. And that's a part of what we have to do. That's what makes progressive liberal Democrats significantly different. Don't take that lightly. That's one of the things that makes us different, guys, is that we care about folks. Ain't nothing wrong with caring about people. I mean, it just is everything. I put it in the positive. There's everything right about caring about folks. And when you let the folks know who take the time to be on any of our shows on WCPT, that you heard them on WCPT, you want to know more about the work that they're doing, and that you know that the work that they're doing, whether it be those who are involved in political issues or social issues, or people who are doing artistic work, like the folks from Too Hot to Handle and the folks from the folks over at Studebaker Theater, that can make their day, and you never know. But you lose nothing by trying. You gain everything from that good that you put out there in the universe. I'm a big believer in it. I'm not going to hide from it, not going to shy away from it. And that is going to be one of our superpowers. We've got quite a few, but that's going to be one of our superpowers as we go forward and deal with these knuckleheads in the year to come. So I wanted to give you guys that reminder and recap of the week and what we've been working on, who we've been talking to, and ask you guys to make sure that you give those folks some shout outs. We're going to have our good friend Karen Byrne from TruBlu Politics with us in the 6:30 hour, chatting about a few things. We got, not a surprise, but we got something we're going to talk about that is important to me, and I know it's important to Karen. So we're going to chop it up in the 6:30 hour. When we come back from this break, going to hit you with some quick Choose Views news, and we will also talk about a few things that you can do this weekend here in Chicago. 773-763-9278. We will be right back.
This is a WCPT Veteran Minute. When Pearl Harbor was attacked, men of all races across the country volunteered to join the fight, despite the United States Army being heavily segregated. Black enlistees were mostly assigned to combat support roles. But this did not stop Lieutenant Colonel Paul L. Bates, who knew of the racism and pushed his soldiers to achieve excellence. The 761st Tank Battalion was formed in the spring of 1942. It contained 30 black officers, 6 white officers, and 676 enlisted men. The unit donned the nickname the Black Panthers, wearing patches on their uniforms with a panther on it and the slogan, "Come Out Fighting." And in 1944, the 761st was assigned to General George Patton's Third Army in France. General Patton gave a colorful speech to his crew, and the Black Panthers became the first African-American tank squad in World War II. And by the end of the war, the Black Panthers had fought further east than every other United States unit, receiving 391 decorations for their heroism.
You're listening to WCPT 820, because facts matter.
It's Choose Views with Richard Chew on WCPT 820, where facts matter.
Hey guys, welcome back to Choose Views, 773-763-9278. Make sure to hit us with the text messages this morning, because I want to kind of read through your text that you send me as best I can. But as we end this week, there's a few Choose Views news items that I want to share with you. And we'll start with the Federal Reserve's latest inflation projection has kind of fallen apart. Chair Jerome Powell admitted after the central bank cut its interest rates by a quarter percentage point on Wednesday. The Fed also lowered the number of reductions expected in 2025 to 2 from the number 4 back in September, a significant shift and a sign that inflation could take far longer than expected to reach the 2% target. Policymakers now believe that won't happen until 2027, an outlook underscored by the latest revision to the gross domestic product growth in the third quarter of this year, which is up to 3.1% from 2.8%. SCOTUS agrees to hear the TikTok case. You guys probably heard about this in part yesterday. The United States Supreme Court has agreed to hear an emergency set of arguments to save TikTok, the social media platform that's owned by the Chinese parent company ByteDance, are challenging a law that requires the app to be sold or face a ban in the United States by January 19th. TikTok and ByteDance say the sell or ban mandate violates the freedom of speech protections of approximately 170 million users, U.S. users specifically, while supporters of the legislation say it upholds American national security interests. So we will see where that goes. But that's definitely going to be a big talking point for so many people. Insurers, once again, our home insurers killing part of the real estate market. They've already nullified aspirations of would-be homeowners in an increasing number of areas throughout the United States deemed susceptible to wildfires, hurricanes, and other natural disasters. A congressional probe released on Wednesday showed the non-renewal rate for home insurance contracts had at least tripled in more than 200 counties throughout the country. Coverage for more than 1.9 million homes nationwide has been dropped since 2018. Since insurance is required for a mortgage and most Americans need to borrow to buy homes, the result could be a pretty big drop in many communities. And that's a tough one to hear, because we know that folks are going to, they have to have it as the mortgage industry requires it. But let's keep our eyes on that one. AT&T, Sweetgreen are to join the RTO push. What does that mean? Corporate employees at AT&T and Sweetgreen have been told to return to their offices more frequently starting in January of 2025, according to Bloomberg. AT&T is mandating 5 days a week, while the salad chain is requiring 4 days. Most workers at both companies are currently in the office about 3 days a week. What else do they want? Getting the work done? That's what matters. All right. AT&T is hoping to avoid the space problem that allegedly stalled Amazon's RTO push, saying it's enhancing its office spaces. All right. Well, we'll see where that goes. And NASA's astronauts are delayed once again. Suni Williams and Butch Wilmore, whose mission to the International Space Station on a Boeing test flight has ballooned from about 10 days to more than 6 months, and will have to stay on the orbiting outpost even longer. A SpaceX crew was set to begin to bring them back in February, but their homecoming will now happen no earlier than March of 2025. NASA has delayed a mission carrying an ISS replacement crew, saying it needs to allow for more time for SpaceX to ready a new Crew Dragon spacecraft. And y'all know who SpaceX is all about. And then finally, Apple scraps the iPhone subscription. Apple has stopped working on its iPhone hardware subscription service, according to Bloomberg. The project, which dates from 2022, was aimed at making iPhone ownership similar to an app with monthly fees and yearly phones that would result in higher sales. However, after its Apple Pay later hit regulatory scrutiny earlier this year, the company reportedly decided to pause this too. Meanwhile, Apple is facing more hurdles in Europe after the bloc's European Commission asked its network on the ISO system. So, quote, it's more compatible, so that it's more compatible with other devices. Apple has in turn rebuked Meta for trying to, quote, gain access to key software tools. They're fighting, Henry, I don't know. All right, guys, a little bit of Choose Views news for you this morning, and obviously as part of our what to do on the weekends, we have a few things that are kind of the best things to do this weekend, or certainly some things to do in Chicago. And hopefully, it's snowing out this morning. I didn't talk that much about that in the early part of the show, but we got some snow, not more than flurries. We got a little bit of kind of wet snow out there. So when you're out and about, be careful, be safe. But let's talk about what are some of the better things to do, or some of the fun things to do this weekend here in the great city of Chicago. The Chicago Cultural Center Open House that starts tomorrow, downtown Chicago. The Chicago Cultural Center is free and open to the public throughout the majority of the year. But if you need an excuse to check it out, it has all the things that you can offer. There's an open house that you should check into. This is a winter event with puppet demonstrations, all kinds of fun stuff, live performances by Chicago puppeteers. So make your way over there as well. It's one of the best places you can go for some of that artistic fun. And if you're going to run down to Hyde Park, the Handmade Artisan Bazaar is taking place, and that's going to be taking place through Sunday. So you can make your way there, check out all sorts of cool trinkets and wares and eats in the indoor market. And that's one of those great places, great opportunities for you to hang out in Chicago's great Hyde Park neighborhood. The Little Chef's holiday donut decorating is also taking place I think you'll find that to be fun. It's taking place in the West Loop of Chicago. Bring the little ones to the market tomorrow, the 21st, for a donut decorating class. Now, here's the thing about that, Henry. If you go to a donut decorating class, guys, there's not going to be anything left to decorate. I mean, you got to have set aside. You got to have a dozen over here to set aside to decorate, and a few over here to eat, so you don't eat the ones that you're decorating. But that is taking place in the West Loop in Chicago this weekend. And it'll be a great opportunity for folks to take children out, and there's probably going to be some adults that'll enjoy that too. Les Miserables is happening downtown Chicago through January 5th. More than 130 million people worldwide have seen this great performance, one of the most popular musicals of all time, and it's made its return back to Chicago. So that's one you can check out. And the Chosen Few DJs holiday party at the View Rooftop. If you're into getting out and dancing and checking out some of the hottest DJs in the Chicagoland area, you can get down to sets by Alan King, Mike Dunn, and Wayne Williams. I've known Wayne for a long, long time. Special guest Lori Branch, Lady D, not Lady B, our Lady B, Rahan, Bruce Bailey, Steve Miggity Maestro. All the Chicago DJ heads will be there. So Wayne and I go back a number of years. Chicago SantaCon, that's taking place tomorrow downtown as well. So make your way out, guys. Lots of things you can do. You can Google and see what's happening, but we always like to give you a few tips to push you in the direction of getting out and about and having fun with your family and friends. So there you go. Thanks for that great background music, Henry. The guys, they've got that knack. You just got to understand. Our board engineers are some talented folks across the board. All right, y'all. Here we are. As we sit back and ask ourselves the question, the elephant room question. We've seen so much happening from the right in these last few weeks since the election. And as we are entering or already into this holiday season, and we're all making ourselves aware of what we have to be prepared for next year, I want to go back to the question that I've been asking throughout the course of this week, and that is, what are you going to do? How are you going to navigate when you have that encounter with that family member, friend, or colleague over these next week to 10 days time, now that we're in the full throes of the holiday celebrating season? What are you going to do with that relative, that friend, that business associate, that colleague that says to you one of two things? Yeah, Henry, I voted for Trump. Or, yeah, Henry, I just didn't vote this time. I want to know what you're going to say to that person. How you going to react and engage with that person, because it's coming. And you all think I'm joking, but I'm not. And I had an encounter, as I mentioned, with an individual, and it was a very, I talked about it last week and earlier this week. So that's why I'm asking you guys, when you text or when you call in, let us know what you're going to do with that person that says, yeah, I voted for Trump, or I didn't vote at all. I just didn't feel it. And that will be, it'll be an interesting thing when the person says it to you. You'll have part of what I should also be asking, to be honest with you, is not so much, not just, I should say, what you're going to do or say, but what do you think your reaction will be because of who the person is that you've trusted and known for however long? What do you think your reaction will be? So I want to hear from you on that as well when you call in today, is not only what will you do or say to the person, but what do you think your reaction will be when the person says it and you're shocked that it's that particular person that's in your universe? So be prepared to talk about that when you reach out to us this morning. 773-763-9278. We're going to take a break, because when we come back from the break, we've got our good friend Karen Byrne from TruBlu Politics that'll be riding with us for a bit. Look forward to chatting with her and talking about things that are important to us all. We'll be right back, guys.
My son loves to fly kites, but my active psoriatic arthritis can sometimes hold me back. Now with Skyrizi to treat my skin and joints, I'm ready to go. Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults, helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi today and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
You're listening to WCPT 820. Here's the latest Chicago weather update.
From the Weatherology Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki. We'll see a few scattered snow showers here early today, otherwise cloudy skies. Temperature steady early, then slowly fall throughout the day. Breezy north winds of 15 to 20 miles per hour, gusting as high as 35. Tonight, partly cloudy skies develop, low near 15. By Saturday, sunshine, high of 27 degrees. Then on Sunday, mostly sunny, high of 33. Monday, chance for rain late, high of 41. That's your latest Chicago weather update. Currently, it's 35.
Alexa, play WCPT.
WCPT from TuneIn.
Welcome back to Choose Views with Richard Chew on WCPT 820, Chicago's progressive talk.
Hey guys, welcome back to Choose Views, 773-763-9278. Thanks to Beth for your text all the way from Michigan. She sent that one all the way from Michigan. Thanks, Beth, for your comment regarding the oligarchs. And that is true. What she's talking about is certainly what's happening this week with regards to Musk and his request to shut down the government. Now, so Beth, thank you for that text that you sent. So here's the thing, guys. As she says, we must fight the good fight to get our country back. There's no question about that. And it's going to be repeated by folks like me, hopefully many others, that fight is an everyday encounter, because you don't know when you're going to encounter a person that comes at you with some nonsense or some garbage. And that's why the fight is every day. That's why it's important to be when I say plugged in, I don't mean you've got to be 24/7, with your dukes up, so to speak. But you got to be prepared to hit them back. You got to be prepared to have content that will empower you to have a conversation with someone when they bring you some nonsense. That's part of the fighting back. And although those are not exactly Beth's words in her text, what she's saying is, these policies and the folks that are behind some of the things that are happening now, or they're attempting to do now, we've got to be, we got to stand up and talk about those things on a day-to-day basis, because they're going to come at us like that. That's why I'm saying it that way. As I say to you, I know you can't have your dukes up 24/7, but you have to know each day that they're going to come with some garbage. That's the goal. It's going to be, I don't even want to use the word flood the zone. Flood the zone is a term that's used in professional sports. And sometimes I hear people use it, and it's not appropriately used. We want to be prepared every day, because they're gonna have a faucet of funkiness coming at us. That's so we want to be prepared. They're not going to flood the zone, because they're not that. It's a positive thing to flood the zone. They're not coming at us with positivity. They're coming at us with a faucet full of garbage. So we have to kind of walk around with the rain suit on, like you're going out to play golf on a rainy day, or it starts to rain once you get out there. Got to have that rain suit in your golf bag, and an umbrella to shield yourself from the garbage they're gonna try to rain down on us. Okay, so that's what I mean when I say being prepared. Doesn't mean you're plugged in 24/7, but it does mean you're prepared when the rain starts, and that, to me, that's probably the best visual I can give you. Certainly one of the better ones that comes to mind in your preparedness. So I said yesterday, I asked a question, and this was based on the article that Tom Hartman posted. Are the Democratic warriors ready to take the fight to Trump and fascism and the GOP machine? And I am, and I'm sure many of you all are as well. And that's why when we talk about staying fueled up and staying stouted up, it's important to have information and content to do that. That being said, let's talk about one of the things that Beth put in her text. How do I want to phrase this? I had to pause because I was about to say something that would have been a little salty. No, I'm not going to say that either. I caught myself twice. All right, let me just get to it. The fools in the GOP are going to try. Well, let's put it this way. Their goal is to continue to cause chaos. We know that. I tried two different ways I was going to say this, and both of them were laced with some profanity that is not allowed. So I had to back up, guys. I'm just being honest with you. But this BS that they're trying to run through, which is to, to put the government on pause, is, in my mind, and there's some Democratic leaders that are saying this, that's borderlining on being criminal. I've heard some legislators on state levels and on a federal level say that this is one of those moments where if they willfully do this, that there's room for class action work to be done. And the reason for that is that taking away certain benefits and in the process causing the government to stumble, in some people's mind, is viewed as an act of terror. And I would love to see, because listen, when we talk about certain lawsuits, or we talk about lawsuits, there's always a question of, does the plaintiff have standing? And in this case, if enough attorneys were to get together and come to the general public and say, we think that there's standing here for a class action lawsuit because of the fact that the Republicans are attacking a part of our government that would actually be part of our national security and taking away certain safety nets for people who are part of the country, maybe there's a conversation that can be had there. And, I think that there's probably some fairly creative, progressive attorneys out there that might want to take that up and say, you know what, this is at least... sometimes this is what Trump has done successfully, and it's the threat of a lawsuit that sometimes will get the attention of people who are causing, harm and havoc. It's the threat of it. And maybe that's an approach in terms of dealing with this BS, as we're talking about trying to shut down the government, that will work. Maybe that will give them some will put them on notice to say that if you do, then it's going to be, time for us to file a class action lawsuit, and the class will be the United States of America, the citizenry of the United States of America. I would love to see something like that, because then that's throwing down the gauntlet, which I think is oftentimes necessary. Is throwing down the gauntlet puts people on notice to say, don't mess with us or don't mess with me. And this is, I don't think that's too much of a stretch. Now, I'm not an attorney. I'm not trying to play attorney. I'm just looking at what is one of the tools that can be used potentially to offset some of this craziness. And that, to me, gives the Democrats a way to say, we're going to constantly fight you in the courts because we know that what you're doing is harmful to so many Americans. And I'm curious what you guys think about that. And I had to change my way of saying it a couple different times, but that was because I wanted to make sure I said it with some clarity. What do you think? If they try to shut down the government, and if they cause harm to citizens that receive already earned benefits, and if they were to do that and put the military in jeopardy, because that means that, military folks don't get paid, then is there room for a class action lawsuit against the Republican Party? Why not look into it? Why not find out what they're going to find out what the court systems will say. The court system will say to that. That's how I look at it. Try it until they say no. Ask for forgiveness, not permission, as the phrase goes. And interestingly enough, a lot of the people who would be impacted by this are people who actually serve the country in a way that our politicians don't, i.e. our military. So let's see what would happen. Come on, Democrats. Come on, Democratic leaders. And here's the thing. It doesn't have to be that's a case that doesn't have to be filed by the Democrats in Washington. That could be filed by the Democratic Governors Association or Lieutenant Governors Association. It doesn't have to be that. That's a case that doesn't have to come from Washington, D.C. because in many ways, when it comes to national security, as Washington goes, so do the states. So why not? I mean, states are the Supreme Court is given, through certain other legislation, given the states the ability to determine what happens with women's health care. So why not? This is part of women's health care, in terms of benefits that people receive that are federal benefits distributed in the states. And our national security, if the government's shut down, that impacts states. So maybe Democratic governors should get together and say, if they do that this time, we're filing a class action lawsuit. How much? See, I'm a big proponent of sending the message, and that would send a message. Okay, not unlike something that I touched on a little bit, and I'm saving this because I want to talk about this with Karen. What happened with AOC and Jerry Connolly? I think that was a mistake from the Democrats, and I think that it would have sent a message had it gone a different direction. But I want to stay on point with what I'm talking about with this class action lawsuit. And I was just sent a very interesting text that said, would it be more weighted if it were filed by the Democratic attorneys general? Both attorneys general and governors. Why not? Send a message. And, I think that would give people, I think it'll do two things. One, it would let the Republicans know you think we're going to lay down, we're not. And at every corner, we're going to push on you something that gets your attention. We're going to push on you something that makes you understand we're not going to lay down. That's one side of it. The other side, again, this is where the messaging is important. Messaging is not the right word I want to use it. This is where getting the attention of people is important. So what do I mean by that? I talked earlier in the week about let's go get those 69 million voters registered and up and participating. Rather than trying to change the minds of people, maybe we go get the voters who sat on the sidelines. So in this case, I think, maybe I'm crazy, but let me hear what you guys have to say about this. The reason that the other side of this sort of class action lawsuit against the BS of shutting down the country is powerful, is that the people who have sat on the sidelines potentially could say, you know what? The Democrats are doing something now. The Democratic governors and lieutenant governors, and maybe save some powder. This time around, the lieutenant governors don't participate. The first time around for a big class action lawsuit, let the governors be the ones to file it. Next time around, let it be the lieutenant governors. Next time around, let it be the attorneys general. And then the next time around, let it be the secretaries of state. Use these kinds of positions of power, levels of power, and resources to send a message to the people that are trying to cause the BS and the chaos, and to the voters who are looking for a reason to get off their behinds. Or as Bakari Sellers said last spring, there was Biden, there was Trump, and the couch. So let's get those folks that are on the sofa to go, wow, the Democrats are punching hard. They're punching up, they're punching down, they're punching sideways, but they're punching. It's that kind of stuff that sends a message. It's, I'll use a sports analogy. And you guys may not have seen this. And there was an Olympic, I think it was in, what year was it? The 2008 Olympics? The Olympic basketball team was playing. Kobe Bryant was on the team, LeBron James and others. And I'll give you the short version. The teams play for their countries, as we all know. So our U.S. team was playing against wherever Paul Gasol is from. And I'm drawing a blank right now. The point I'm going to make is to try to tighten this up before we go to break is that in the first 30 seconds of the game, Kobe Bryant just ran right through Paul Gasol, his teammate from the Lakers. But now it's the U.S. against others and others against the U.S. and everybody's playing against each other in Olympic basketball. And Kobe ran right through him, elbowed the whole nine, knocked him to the floor, and stood right over him. Why did he do that? To send a message. I'm with my U.S. team now. This is who I represent. And I think that sometimes, even though you may not win that particular scenario, you send a message which says, we aren't going to take this. And the people who have been sitting on the sidelines will hear that message. Trust me, if we could encourage our governors and some of our state legislators and state officials to say, you know what, if you shut down the government this time, because y'all know, maybe you guys didn't know this, but of the 30 times the government has gone into this turmoil, guess who was leading the House of Representatives? It wasn't Democrats. So maybe what we should do is encourage our leaders to send a message to say, nah, 30's enough. The next time, you're going to pay a price. So we'll talk about this on the other side of the break. The number is 773-763-9278. Guys, we'll be right back.
See website for details. Bills Happen is not a lender and does not make credit decisions. Must be 18 years old. Not available in all states.
Honey, the credit card bill came and we're maxed out.
Great. Maxed out cards, rent is due, bills are piling up. We just need some extra cash to help us get by for a few weeks.
We should do what my brother did. He went to billshappen.com and got $3,000 the next day.
With our bad credit, I don't think so.
Billshappen.com is different. They are one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with all credit types get up to $5,000.
I'm sure there's a lot of paperwork.
Nope, my brother said it was easy. He did it right from his phone.
If you have a regular source of income, you can be approved for a loan for up to $5,000 in minutes, and your cash can hit your bank account the next day. Bills Happen's lenders have millions of dollars to lend, regardless of your credit history.
Great news! I went to billshappen.com, and we will have our money as soon as tomorrow.
Wow, that is fast.
If you need extra cash, go to billshappen.com. That's billshappen.com. Billshappen.com.
How would you like to get high-speed internet for about $10 a month with no annual contract? It's possible with Whole Home Connect, your internet superstore. The internet's grown up over the years. There used to be maybe one provider. Now you have multiple choices that you may not even be aware of. Whole Home Connect can help you. With one phone call, they will show you the best internet deals available in your neighborhood. And yes, we have deals as low as $10 a month, with no annual contracts. Whole Home Connect is your one-stop discount store for all your internet needs. It's time to upgrade your internet plan and save money. Call right now for a free quote and to learn about internet plans starting at $10 a month with no contracts.
Call now, 800-257-5168. 800-257-5168. Call right now, 800-257-5168. Again, that's 800-257-5168.
Chicago's Progressive Talk, WCPT 820, where facts matter.
You're listening to Choose Views with Richard Chu on WCPT 820, Chicago's Progressive Talk.
Hey guys, welcome back to Choose Views, 773-763-9278. Yeah, I have a little gangster in me every now and again, and that is to say that, or the basis of why I'm saying it, that the Dems should send a message. I just think that this, playing tiddlywinks or whatever, butter knife to a knife fight or whatever, on and on and on, this has got to end. It just has to end. And just because Donald Trump is, the Orange Menace, the 34-time convicted felon, I have to school myself and train myself to say that. Just because a 34-time convicted, twice adjudicated rapist is going to be in the White House and Elon Musk is going to be president, doesn't mean that we roll over. See, here's the thing: Elon Musk is trying to punk people by saying, "Hey, if any of you vote for any of these items, I'm gonna fund someone primarying you." Okay, like Adam Kinzinger said about certain people and certain things, and others have said, "Bring it on, man! I dare you to." Because see, here's the thing that a lot of these guys do, but they don't really have let me put it this way. They're physical punks. They hide behind their keyboards. You heard the phrase keyboard warriors. They hide behind their money and all of that. And I'm going to say it often. I'm going to say it until somebody changes my mind about it substantively. Democrats need to every day fight like nobody's business. They need to trash talk every day. And it can't just be, Leader Jeffries. It's got to be other folks that are going to get to the mic. Remember when I said a week before last, and I was having a conversation with a couple of the team members here, I wish President Biden, if there's one thing that I could say that I wish he had done, is every week had a Friday, or someone in the administration every Friday had taken the mic and had a weekly kind of fireside chat version of what they're doing. Here's what we're working on. Here's why we're working on it. Here's who's it going to benefit. Every week. This is, bless you. Here's what we're doing. I wish they had done that. I wish that they had done that. And if they had, it would have been really a powerful statement for the country to see. Here's what we're working on. Here's who it's going to impact, and here's why. They didn't do that. Here we are. So let's take that same thought process and use it going forward. What do I mean by that? Every week on Friday, and hell, if they don't want to do it, I'll do it. I'm going to do my version of it here. But every week on Friday, someone from the House of Representatives and or the Senate or should have a weekly, here's what the Republicans are doing that's garbage. Don't just let it be what comes from the mainstream media. The elected officials should be calling out every Friday. Here's what they're doing. Minimally every Friday. They have to do it every day. They got enough members of, what is it? They're 215. So let's do some quick math. There's 20 business days a month that they're going to be there. Call it 22 depending on. So there's 22. Divide that. Multiply that out by 10. That's 10. Rotate it. I'm doing quick math. But rotate them through every day. Hakeem Jeffries should say, listen, one of the ways we're going to fight this is every day we're going to talk about the garbage that's coming from the Republican Party. And then get the 48 senators that we have to do their version of it. Maybe once a week. There's 48 weeks of the year. Once a week, have a senator. 48 is 52 weeks, but there's 48 typically without vacations. You guys know what I'm trying to say. Every single day and every single week, there should be a member of Congress on the mic, flanked by 3 or 4 people saying this is the garbage that they're coming at the country with. And on a state level, in our blue states, and listen, shout out to Governor Pritzker and Lieutenant Governor Stratton, they do a version of this. But rather than, sitting back and letting it come to them, let's take that fight to them. And I would love to see Gavin Newsom do this. I would love to see Governor Hochul do it. I would love to see Jared Polis do it, and Josh Shapiro and Governor Walz do this, and Governor Whitmer, and the list goes on. Every single day or week, they come out with the garbage because Americans got filled with other stuff in their heads during this last election cycle. And it was that the Dems are awful and the Republicans are perfect and wonderful. And the way that they did that was with constant messaging about how old President Biden is. And, they wanted to say nasty things about Vice President Harris that were really, leaning into the sexuality of a black woman and all the rest. So let's just, and for me, I see it as a fairly easy script to flip. So Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer and the many governors, chiefs of staff, y'all need to get together and come up with a plan over the holidays to fight that, so that the American people see that you all are fighting. I just, you can hear it in my voice, and I had to clean up the way I was going to say it earlier. But I believe that that's a powerful tool that we have in our arsenal, and we have to use it. We have to be willing to use it. So there you go. All right, let's grab a quick call before we go to break. Let's go to Rick down in Florida. Good morning, Rick. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Richard. Good morning. Good morning, everybody in Chicago. It's always a treat to talk to you. Okay, real quick here. I think you're right. I think that we are being punked, but not just by Elon Musk. It's by everybody in this Republican Party. They're just creating controversy. It's a big dog and pony show. And what's happening, I see, is we're constantly covering all this crap that Donald Trump is doing, that Elon Musk is doing, the corruption, the spectacle, but we're not getting to the systemic problem, and that's deregulation. Ronald Reagan's big tool to end things. And we need, just like you're saying, that the Democratic Party should talk about all the corruption and everything else. This is what I would request from you, is that you give us the info on what is being deregulated, because when the rubber meets the road, this is their big tool to dismantle our republic, our rights, our health.
And think about it like this too. Think about it too, Rick. And we're coming to this break, but I just want to compliment you on that contribution, because that is going to, if deregulation, and you're right about, if we were to find a seminal moment in our lifetime, for the most part, it would be with Reagan's terms. He definitely. People ask, and Tom Hartman talks about this a lot, and obviously he's a professor of everything progressive. But if we want to look at a seminal moment in recent times or in our lifetime, it would be with Reagan. So spot on with you for stating and reminding us of that. And now we're entering a phase where that's going to be part of what happens again, and even more so because we've got so many more billionaire and uber wealthy people that want to see more deregulation take place. And if you look at the cabinet members that he's suggesting, in each case, the people that he's suggesting are big proponents of deregulation. And Ricky, I couldn't have said it any better. And I promise you that I will keep my thumb on that as part of the conversation, because you're absolutely right. That's the underbelly of the why of that. This so much of the people that are being suggested are being put in place is to deregulate those areas that they're going to be in charge of. So, absolutely good point, my man. Absolutely good point.
Thank you, Richard, for having me on the show. And
absolutely.
I'll be sending you more emails. And boy, I got the guts. We're gonna talk about a lot. Hopefully, we'll be able to change things, at least in Chicago, and it'll spread on out.
We have to.
Great job,
Rick. We have to affect people. I don't know how much we can change people, and I don't mean to correct you. Sorry about that. We have to provide as much information out to folks to affect them, and then give them tools to try to find more information to then create change. And you're really good at that. And
I completely agree. I completely agree, and I'm going to be sending you an email on just that point. And hopefully we'll be able to talk about it on air, and if you find it relevant, and we'll go from there.
Sounds good, my man. Listen, be safe and have a great weekend, okay?
You too. Merry Christmas to
Merry
everybody.
Christmas, Rick.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Yeah, I mean, he makes a good point. That's the deregulation is definitely, if you guys look at the cabinet members, you'll see what I'm talking about. We got to go to break. 773-763-9278. When we come back, we're going to keep talking about this stuff because that's what we do. Our good friend Karen Byrne will be with us in the 7 o'clock hour. Looking forward to chatting with her. 773-763-9278. We'll be right back.
This is a WCPT Moment in Labor. In 2011, 6 Jimmy John's employees in Minneapolis were fired by their franchise-owning company, Mickey Lynn Enterprises, after fighting for paid sick days. This is a common theme in the union-free world of fast food. Over 13 million Americans work in the fast food industry, making an average of $13,500 a year, not even half the average cost of living. 80% of fast food workers have experienced work-related injuries, and only 13% were covered by their employer. A group of employees referred to as the Jimmy John's Six fought for these rights, creating an online campaign, posting a picture of 2 sandwiches saying one of these was made by a healthy employee, the other was made by a sick employee. Can you tell the difference? Too bad, as Jimmy John's workers do not get paid sick days. Help workers win sick days. More than 32 million Americans work a job that does not offer paid sick days. This has been a WCPT Moment in Labor. We're working for your rights.
Whether you get pulled over or get into a crash, drinking and driving will change your whole world. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
This is AP News. I'm Rita Foley. What happens now? Now that the House has said no to a spending plan just ahead of a possible government shutdown. Republican Tom Cole of Oklahoma says Democrats were against a bill that has items they previously supported.
You consider legislation one piece at a time. There's not a single thing in here that you oppose, except maybe the debt limit extension, which is the same debt limit extension you supported 2 years ago.
But Democrats fired back at Republicans. House Democrat Hakeem Jeffries.
For decades, the Republican Party has lectured America about fiscal responsibility, about the debt and the deficit. It's always been phony. This bill proves it.
Millions of us are hitting the road for the holidays.
Get ready for some of the most crowded times on the roads and at airports. AAA spokesperson Aixa Diaz says the number of people traveling for the holidays is expected to top the previous holiday season high that was set in 2019.
What we are expecting is an overall total record of 119 million travelers, and specifically the airline passengers. Air travel, that's also a new record of 7.85 million.
Diaz says people are experiencing a sort of post-pandemic psychological shift, valuing visiting family and friends a lot more than they did before. AAA says about 90% of Americans traveling far from home over the holidays will be in cars. Donna Warder, Washington.
U.S. diplomats are in Syria this morning, and they'll try to get information about American journalist Austin Tice, who disappeared in Syria in 2012. A Russian missile attack on Ukraine's capital, Kyiv, this morning killed at least one person, say officials. Moscow says it was payback for a Ukrainian strike on Russian soil. This is AP News. There's news about weight loss drugs.
The Food and Drug Administration says knockoff versions of 2 blockbuster obesity and diabetes pills must come off the market. The FDA says shortages nationwide of Zepbound and Mounjaro have been resolved, and there's no need for any copycats. Zepbound treats obesity. Mounjaro is approved for diabetes. Both drugs are part of the GLP-1 class that has shown unprecedented results for helping people shed weight. Competing drugs from Novo Nordisk, Wegovy, and Ozempic remain on the FDA shortage list. With demand for these drugs booming, companies like Hims and Ro have jumped into the market, selling cheaper versions online. People can usually get a month's supply for several $100s. Businesses selling copycats of Zepbound and Mounjaro have 60 to 90 days to phase out their products. Ed Donahue, Washington.
And I'm Rita Foley, AP News.
This is 8:20 a.m. WCPT Willow Springs and streaming worldwide at WCPT820.com. We are Chicago's progressive talk, where facts matter. Now, your WCPT 820 weather update.
From the Weatherology Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki. We'll see a few scattered snow showers here early today, otherwise cloudy skies. Temperature steady early, then slowly fall throughout the day. Breezy north winds of 15 to 20 miles per hour, gusting as high as 35. Tonight, partly cloudy skies develop, low near 15. By Saturday, sunshine, high of 27 degrees. Then on Sunday, mostly sunny, high of 33. Monday, chance for rain late, high of 41. That's your latest Chicago weather update. Currently, it's 35.
Save big money on your kitchen project at Menards. We carry everything you need to turn your kitchen dreams into reality. Renovate your space with new cabinets from Cardell. They're ready to install and come in a variety of styles. Visit our kitchen showrooms in store or go to Menards.com for free estimates today. And don't forget to check out our weekly flyer for all of our hot deals going on now.
Warm season's greetings to you all from Menards.
Because facts matter. You are listening to WCPT 820.
Welcome back to Choose Views with Richard Chu on WCPT 820 AM, where facts matter. Take it away, Richard.
Hey, guys, welcome back to Choose Views, 773-763-9278. Make your way over to heartlandsignal.com, our digital platform, where you will see some great clips and hear some great clips on Heartland Signal on X. Everything from our senators locally, our senators on a state level, and, of course, some of our national lawmakers, Republican lawmakers all over the country are just stepping in it day after day. And we have some great clips that we'd love you guys to take and to review and to share. And that's the beauty of going to heartlandsignal.com, our digital platform as part of WCPT. So that's one of the other good things about that is these are clips that when you hear them, you'll go, oh, that's where that came from. Because a lot of times you hear many of us talk about something that's going on and not know what that quote or that speech or whatever is tied to. So you can do that over at Heartland Signal. And today from 2 to 5, Joan Esposito will be taking your calls and talking to Chef Lisa Counts on the chopping block and Chicago artist Tony Fitzpatrick. Joan Esposito, live, local, and progressive, weekdays 2 to 5 p.m. Central Time, WCPT 820 and Heartland Signal. And then, of course, none other than Driving It Home with Patty Vasquez. She'll be joined by Dion Dawson of Dion's Chicago Dream, a nonprofit organization dedicated to fighting food insecurity in Chicago. The Dream Vault is a network-enabled locker that customers can access weekly with a unique electronic code to get a Dream delivery box of fresh groceries containing 5 days worth of pre-measured fruits and vegetables. Driving It Home with Patty Vasquez, weekdays 5 to 7 p.m. here on WCPT, or stream the video live on WCPT's Facebook or YouTube pages. And definitely, as a reminder, I bashfully say that Choose Views has 2 new podcasts, Choose Views full episodes and Choose Views featured interviews. You can subscribe to one or both. Podcasts are available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, YouTube, Amazon, and TuneIn. Just search for Choose Views with Richard Chu or get the links by visiting heartlandsignal.com/choose-views. Check it out. Lots of good stuff over there, all of our recent interviews. Hey, Henry, I heard that we were giving away some chicken. Well, maybe not literally, but we're certainly making it so that our good friends over at Fry the Coop, a destination for hot chicken in Chicagoland, was giving the Southern original Midwest touch, whether you want heat or no heat, featuring chicken sandwiches, tenders, chicken and waffles, and now nuggets, all delivering happiness in each crunchy bite. Proudly not using seed oils, frying all of their menu items in 100% beef tallow. Stop by Fry the Coop today at one of its many locations from Oak Lawn, Chicago, Elmhurst, Darien, Prospect Heights, Tinley Park, and Bolingbrook. You can have no heat, mild, medium, or hot or crazy insanity. Yeah, burn the roof of your mouth, as we say. And to celebrate the holidays, Fry the Coop gave WCPT $25 gift cards. That is a little bit of a gift to you guys. And that's a contest that the first caller will be the winner of today's first pair of tickets. I think we got 2 today, do we? I think we do have 2. Yeah, so we'll do this again before the show is over. Contests running on WCPT are open to listeners 18 years or older and residents of the greater Chicagoland, Northwest Indiana area. One entry per person, one winner per household, void where prohibited by law. Listeners may only win or qualify to win once every 30 days. Complete rules are available on the website at WCPT.com by clicking the contest tab. And I will put another one out there for you guys, maybe at the bottom of the hour or certainly before we wrap up. So first caller, you get that gift card, the first gift card for the day. And Henry will be the one to determine who that is. All right, guys. We sent a shot across the bow, as it were. Come on, Dems. Let's fight. And let's fight by using the court systems to our advantage. And one of the ways we can do that is by making sure that the Republicans know that if you're going to try to shut down the government, if you're going to play these games, then we need to let you know we aren't going to take it. And whether the cases get completely borne out isn't the issue. The issue is letting them know we're coming. We're here. And every time you all start some craziness, we're going to file lawsuits. Because we have standing as a society. And if they're representing the interest of the country, then that's standing, and that will allow them to at least get those on the docket. We'll see if they hear us, if they even have been thinking to do it. But why sit back and not do it? Get the message out to let people know. All right, here we are. It's 7 o'clock, 7:10, and we've got our good friend Karen Byrne from TruBlu Politics podcast with us this morning. What's going on over there, Sleepyhead?
Oh, well, let me just start with my little PSA. Get your colonoscopies and get your mammograms. We have a long fight ahead of us, and we need to be healthy for it. So
that's right.
Yeah, my night went a little bit unexpectedly sleepless, and
well,
so
that happens.
Here I am.
Here you are. Here
yeah,
you are.
It's done.
Good. Well, we're glad you're with us, and we're glad you're well, and that you're doing the things that we all have to. I mean, Karen makes a good point. I talked about this in terms of what we do going forward. Well, one of them is, and it's the biggest one of all, it's not just to take care of our mental health, but we also have to take care of our physical and our internal health, guys. I'm an advocate of this big time right now. Re-up that membership at a health club, or if you've not had one in a while, go get one. If you don't want, go look for a local YMCA or YWCA, and get involved and physically be doing something. Get to the gym, guys. If you can't afford a big membership, like I said, find one that's maybe a little bit more local. Maybe, and many times some churches even have facilities, depending on where you are in the country. But get involved physically, because we don't need you throwing any of your sneakers or your coffee cup at the television or the radio when you hear some garbage from these Republicans. So maybe use that energy differently by getting to the gym, and most definitely get that checkup in. That's one of the things that I said in terms of how do we move forward. Get that checkup squared away, okay? Make sure that you're getting and I'm talking about your regular checkup. And then to add on top of that, all the things that are sustaining to how our bodies function, get those checked out as well. So if you got to get that mammogram, if you got to get that colonoscopy, if you got to get that prostate exam, listen, we're grown folks here, so we talk about grown folks things. Then get that done. Don't sit around and wait until something happens. And kudos to Karen for reminding us of that. So there.
Yes, we have to take care of ourselves. And I, for one, am not going to be going through a bottle of wine every night watching MSNBC. So
no,
but yeah, that did happen. Okay.
Well, sure it did.
But it's not going to happen again.
No,
it's
sure
not going
did.
to happen again.
So that's.
But I do. Yeah, you were talking about the Democrats and the shot across the bow, and that we have to fight them differently. And I have to say, you were speaking to it, I believe, about talking about how we play differently, and I think one of the ways is exactly what we are seeing with every single one of the Democrats getting on the same page, calling Musk President Musk and kind of trolling Donald Trump. But with this vote that took place yesterday, every single Democrat needs to just come out straight out and say, it is a Republican-controlled House. It is a Republican-controlled Senate. They do not need one of our votes. If stuff doesn't get done, it's because of the Republicans.
That's right. Just like Hakeem Jeffries said, listen and be very specific and literal about it. If you're, there's so many categories that they can do this in, Karen. If your car insurance went up, if it's something that's being affected on a state level, maybe you should talk to your Republican state legislator. They need to break everything down to the Republicans are in charge on a federal level, and even things that are happening on a state level. If it's tied to federal budgeting, talk to your Republican representative and your senator, because they're the ones that are mucking up the water, and it should be coming out of everybody's mouth every single time that they talk about any of these votes. Frankly.
They've been, because really they've been allowed to do their dirty work, and Democrats, because we care about actually serving and taking care of the vast majority of Americans that need the help, and that's all of us deserve to be, it's a representative government, and so that's why we're sending our people to Washington to take care of us. But what Democrats, because of that, have been doing, and I'm not saying that it was the wrong way to go about it, but these Republicans have been able to muck things up so badly, time and time again. Democrats go along to stop the bleeding, alleviate the pain, and what do they get for it? They get both sides do it in the media. So the Democratic messaging must now be, we're not going to go along to get along with you people, and when it doesn't get done, we're going to go out on every single broadcast, on every single independent network, and we're going to assign the blame to where it belongs, on you guys. You guys have the majorities. You guys can fix it.
And it's so well put, Karen. I'm biting my tongue, but for saying certain things. I'm making sure I don't say certain things a certain way in terms of how I want to say them. But listen, this is a good example. This is a way to take what you just said and kind of what I said earlier and put it back in their laps as it relates to things like benefits and services that they want to take away. And I would, if again, this is if I were a member of the House of Representatives, but here is a suggestion I'm giving to the members of the House from the Democratic side. They should ask the question, Tommy Tuberville and Speaker Johnson. I always stop calling him Speaker Johnson, just call him Mike. Hey, Mike, would Jesus take food out of folks' mouths?
Right.
Yeah, right. Just on the when they're talking, ask the question so the American people could hear the question and then see if there'll be a response. You all tout, you were sent here by you were selected and all these other things that you want to label in terms of your Christian faith. Would Jesus take food out of folks' mouths? Would Jesus take away the things that would help to sustain them? It's a yes/no question. It's not one you get to waffle around. It's a yes or no question. The Jesus that you say you follow, would that Jesus take away food from someone in need? That's the kind of but let's remember, we're from Chicago, so we kind of roll a little bit differently here. But that's how I would, if I'm in front of a mic, I would be. So here's another way in which your Republican elected officials took something out of took something away from you that you need to sustain yourselves, and follow that with, would the Jesus that they say they follow have done that? Since they invoked Jesus, right. I mean, the Democrats didn't invoke Jesus. Mike Johnson did.
No.
So okay, dude.
Sure did. Okay, tell us about the Christmas story, honey. What is the Christmas story? And then let's talk about the border.
Yeah. Would he send away a stranger? I mean, the Jesus that you follow, would he send away the stranger? And, and Karen and I are not trying to be Bible scholars here. We're not trying to be religious scholars for that matter. We're just saying, look, dude, if you leaned on that as part of what got you there, then you got to stand with the whole thing. You don't get to use a scalpel and take out the things to suit the narrative that you want to have. And that's, what I hope the Dems do, find a way to do that every single conversation. There is no room to, as you said, to try to find a happy medium and all that. Because if it's garbage, and let's be honest, guys, and Karen, chime in on this. If it's garbage legislation, why would I want to find a happy medium or consensus on garbage?
Yeah. Exactly right. Exactly right. Yeah, I mean, and it's just, these guys are always up to their dirty tricks. And I'm just going to say what I call it, that, that is a somewhat of I believe, a verb when you go John Fugelsang on their A-star stars.
Right. I've become very comfortable with using backside because, that keeps me out of trouble. But no, I mean, listen, guys, if they're going to use that as their platform, the Democratic Party, the Democratic leadership, and I'm talking whether it be Mayor Johnson or it be any leader on a national level, hit them right square in the middle of their eyes and say, that's garbage legislation. And then
hit them below the Bible Belt.
Bingo. I love it. Hey, listen, I got to ask you a question, and this is where, from a Democratic standpoint, we've got to talk about this a little bit, and you and I haven't had a chance to talk about it on air. But I think in terms of sending a message and letting it be known that they got the message, that the Democratic voting leadership with this oversight situation with Jerry Connolly and ALC, they missed an opportunity. And it's not about, just putting a woman in a position. I don't want to sound pandering at all, anybody, so nobody get their undies in a bundle. Right. But they missed an opportunity, I think, to send a big message that we've gotten the message that you do want leadership that's going to be additionally representative of who our party is trying to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I would like to preface it. I think, Jerry Connolly is a fine man. I think he is a fighter. He can get out there and he doesn't mince words. And so I do appreciate that about him. But I will say that as a woman myself, coming off of the election and having to settle in with the results of this election, and once again, women feeling especially the sting because, again, we have been told that we are unelectable to the highest office. So, there is that optic. There is that message, that shot in the arm, I think, that is needed, and particularly with women of color, all of us, absolutely, but women of color, to see a fierce fighter like AOC, and I feel like she has proven herself. She has shown that she is a pragmatic progressive. She understands how to navigate. She is a fierce warrior, a fierce messenger, and I do believe that it would have been good. I did hear some rumblings that they don't want to put their stars. They're like her in the position where she would be bogged down with these leadership positions and on committees. But I think she is so dynamic. I don't think that would be a problem for her.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. It's the phrase, that sometimes sports teams use. You during the playoffs, you put your top players on the bench so that they don't get injured. I get that. I understand that thought process. So yeah, that's one way of looking at it, and I'm just putting it out there that, in a broader sense, Karen, I want the Democratic leadership across the country, in every locale, to be willing to send an adjusted message, not a new message, not a change of ideas, but an adjusted message that says, we heard you And we want to make sure we're embracing what you want us to be leaning into as we go forward. That's all I'm saying. And again, I don't want it to sound like I'm pandering in any way whatsoever, but I do get it that if they're trying to make sure that she doesn't get bogged down with some of that garbage, I get that. My brain is big enough to go, okay, I can see that. But going forward, the broader message, I think, has to be, we got it. We heard what we heard. Those of you who stayed at home, that's what this message should really be directed to. We heard you.
Right.
We want you to come out. And we want you to be part of the process. And these are some of the things that we're gonna continue with our baseline of policies and ideas, and we're going to be even more inclusive as it relates to reaching out to younger, vibrant, other voters that we may have missed along the way. I mean, it's a fair conversation.
Yeah, no, I do. I think so too. I think so. This is my thing. We're going to be fearless in our fight against fascism, and we're going to be ruthless with our messaging. That's what needs to happen.
Yep, I like that. Ruthless with our messaging.
Yep.
And our replies. Our replies
burn it down, slash and burn.
We're ruthless in our replies and our responses to people. Every now and again, when someone makes a statement, ask them, "Are you out of your damn mind?" I mean, have you lost your sense of what we're all? Those kinds of words need to be the first words that come out sometimes. And I'm hoping that, I've seen little touches of it with Speaker let me see that I said the right thing, with Hakeem Jeffries, and some of the other voices in the House, Democrats. But it's got to be regular every day. It cannot be every now and again. It's got to be every single day.
Yes, indeed. So I know we're coming to the end of it here. If I may, I just wanted to make a shameless announcement that TruBlu Politics podcast will be reporting our January show after the first of the year with our very own Ms. Stephanie Miller.
Cool.
And I also have decided to start a Substack. And it is Fearlessness in the Face of Fascism. And it is under my name, Karen Byrne, Byrne, like our late great mayor. And I am very excited about it. I think that we have got to be very clear-eyed about what's about to come and be fearless in the face of it and get our voices out. And whatever way you feel comfortable in fighting this, we need to fight this.
That's right.
Every tool in our toolbox.
And that's right. And in the tool shed. Go. If the toolbox don't have enough tools in it, go to the tool shed and get the ones that are leaning up against the wall. Seriously, guys. I mean, we don't have the luxury of playing around anymore. We have to open up the tool shed. We actually, we've been working with the toolbox. It's now time to use this analogy that Karen and I just came up with. We got to open up the tool shed and let them know. Let them hear the creaky door open up and know that we're coming.
Yep.
And my part of my responsibility and certainly my belief is to inspire you guys to do the things that are going to make a difference as we go forward. And I, as always, appreciate Karen's contribution and participation. You'll need to check out her work. And the best way to do that is to go to her podcast. And that podcast is TruBlu Politics Podcast. That's a starting point. And you can follow her on the socials. She puts out great content. Her new Substack is going to be the bomb. And you all need to plug into the work that she's putting out there to do her part to keep moving the ball downfield, to use a football analogy. So thanks for being with us this morning, Karen, and appreciate your contribution. And we'll do this again next week.
Yes, and to everybody out there, happy holidays. We're getting through here. Happy Hanukkah, happy Merry Christmas.
And as Stephanie would say, Chris Muhammad Kwanzaa.
Yeah, I can't get that out this early. Happy Chris Muhammad Kwanzaa.
There we go.
Yeah.
We got them all rolled into one. Listen, Karen, have a good weekend and good luck with everything, and we'll talk next week, okay?
Thank you. Thank you, Richard. Have a great day.
You too. Bye now. All right, guys, there we go. We're going to hit this quick break. When we come back, I see the calls are stacking up. We're going to get to your calls. I promise you that. 773-763-9278. Choose Views. Will be right back.
Hi, this is Joan Esposito. 2024 is just about over, and we are taking a deep breath before 2025. WCPT is so grateful for our loyal listeners who've been with us day in and day out. In appreciation, WCPT is giving you a chance to win a $25 gift certificate at Fry the Coop restaurants with 9 locations throughout Chicagoland. Listen to win during my show, Richard Choose Views, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m., and on Patty Vasquez, Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Fry the Coop is Chicagoland's answer to Nashville Hot Chicken, a fast, casual eatery that can bring the heat. Each piece of made-to-order chicken is juicy, flavorful, and spiced to perfection, whether you want it crazy hot or no heat at all. Fry the Coop satisfies your hot chicken fix. Fry the Coop with 9 Chicagoland locations. For more information, visit frythecoop.com. Eat local fried chicken and come get your happiness.
Fry the Coop is the destination for hot chicken in Chicagoland. Founded in November 2017, founder Joe Fontana is true to the Southern original with a Midwest touch. Heat or no heat, featuring fried chicken sandwiches, tenders, and chicken and waffles. And now, 6, 12, or 30-piece nuggets that deliver happiness with every crunchy bite. Fry the Coop never uses seed oils. They fry all of their menu items in 100% beef tallow. Stop by Fry the Coop today and try one of their 6 heat levels: country, no heat; mild, medium, hot, crazy, and insanity. Fry the Coop has 9 locations throughout the Chicagoland area: Oak Lawn, Chicago, Westtown, Portage Park, and Lincoln Park; Elmhurst, Darien, Prospect Heights, Tinley Park, and Bolingbrook. Open Monday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m., and Sundays, 12 to 8. For more information, please visit frythecoop.com. Eat local fried chicken and come get your happiness.
Hey Google, play WCPT.
Streaming Chicago's progressive talk from TuneIn.
Good morning. You're waking up with Richard Chew.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
We're live and ready to hear from you. Text or call us now at 773-763-9278. Same number. Simple as that. Let's get the conversation going on WCPT 820, Chicago's progressive talk.
Hey, guys, welcome back to Choose Views, 773-763-9278. And yes, we are still giving away gift cards. So the next the next caller that calls in regarding the Fry the Coop WCPT $25 gift card will get said gift card. And of course, our number is 773-763-9278. Give us a quick holler. We got one more card to give away. And that being said, I think we had a winner from our earlier segment. Let's go to Farmer real quickly. Hey, good morning, sir. How are you?
Richard Chew, how do you do?
Pretty well. What's going on?
Happy holidays to you and the whole WCP crew.
Absolutely, man. Happy holidays.
You guys are doing God's work. You know that, right?
Hey, man, we're trying, and with folks like you who keep some air underneath our wings, it makes it a hell of a lot easier. So we appreciate.
Nah, you're succeeding, and by having an amazing activists like Karen Byrne on. I mean, come on, get them below the Bible Belt. It doesn't get any better than that.
No, right, man?
Karen's amazing.
Yeah, she is. That's why my goal is to feature her and feature folks like Kurt Herner from Ohio, Kurt Mullett from Indiana on the show. Heck because
yeah.
they just Who's Your Blue 63, man. I mean,
yes, sir.
The contributions that those folks make and the work that they're doing on a day-to-day basis. You know, I'm honored to be able to speak to that and use our platform here. And this is going to get bigger. This is going to get bigger. We're going to keep doing that. We're going to keep having folks on that speak to this, and we're going to get this done, Farmer. How you doing otherwise? You doing well?
I'm doing okay. I'm on the choo-choo going to D.C., Richard Chew.
There you go. There you go.
Hey, can I say happy holidays to all the WCP activists out there, especially Grandma Azalee?
Absolutely. She'll appreciate that. I'm sure if she's listening, she's going to get that one. Definitely.
She's a big inspiration. You know, that's the thing is you guys and your voice is such an inspiration to all of us. And Kurt and Sharon and Emma Osley, it helps us all to be fearless. And that's important right now.
Yeah, it most definitely is. Well, listen.
Okay, so here's the thing. I won the card, right?
Well, Henry's running that. I'm just reading the commercial. So Henry's nodding that says, yes, you have. So
okay, so my buddy Vinny, who lives in West Walker, up in Chicago.
Okay.
He eats there 3 times a week. Can I gift him my card?
I'm going to say yes. Yeah. All right.
Otherwise, I'm going to be there in Chicago in August to shoot a documentary, so I can eat there again myself. But
here's what we'll do.
The holidays,
in the spirit of the holidays, we'll get it. We'll make sure that we get your information, and then we'll figure out how to get the card to that friend of yours, because we may just get it to him directly here. We'll figure that out. That's not too difficult of a logistical thing to do. So. Cool.
Nice.
All right.
Right on. All right. Well, you and your girl have a great holiday, and everyone at WCPT and all the listeners, everyone be safe. We're going to get through this. Don't worry.
That's right. We got to stay strong. Farmer, be well. Have a great weekend. Merry Christmas. All right. Be safe.
Love you, man.
You
Merry
too.
Christmas.
Back at you. There you go. We'll figure that out. I mean, you'll figure it out. All right. Let's see. Let's go to Joey. Joey, welcome to Choose Views. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Big D Democrats, good morning. I think I had a little different take on this. Did you ever hear of the parable or the fable of the emperor who has no clothes?
Oh, most definitely.
Okay, well, we got a bunch of egomaniacs in there right now. Right. And I think this is the best thing. I have a little different take that ever happened to our party, the Democratic Party, because everybody's going to see in real time when watching eat themselves. They're going to eat their own. These are egomaniacs. They have no interest in running a government. They're all out for themselves.
Yeah.
And it's going to take one person to realize this, in their party. And once that happens, it's just going to spread like wildfire. And I believe within the next few months, we're going to be able to look back at these first couple months, and we're going to be very happy that this happened. This is an opportunity for the Democratic Party to get their act together and to take control of these houses like they did in the 60s, the 70s. Okay? It has to get bad before it gets good. And we're about to find out what's going to happen. Yeah. And by the way, I didn't even know Elon Musk was running. I didn't have a clue.
Joey, you and I missed it too. You and I must have been out busy doing something, and we both missed it. I didn't know. Yeah. It's crazy.
So
man.
Guys, don't be so upset. You're going to see. It's going to work out for us. So just hang in there. If we can get through this, it's going to work to our advantage.
Yeah.
These men have no interest in governing the country, period. They're out for themselves. And everyone will see it very quickly. Last time we had a lot of guardrails on Trump's presidency, whether you know it or not. This time there isn't any. So he's gonna be able to fall flat on his face.
Yeah, good point, Joey. I appreciate you.
Have a great day, everybody.
Hey, man,
Merry
be well.
Christmas.
Have a good Merry Christmas. You too.
All right.
Bye-bye. Joey puts a button on it. I mean, the truth is they are going to step on their you-know-whats. And y'all can figure out what that means. But the truth is that this overreach, and I know, listen, let me back up a little bit. I know that there is a lot of fear and concern and angst right now. Listen, I'll have let me put it to you this way, so you guys know that I'm not out there not paying attention. I am paying very close attention. There will be points in the day where I will have a moment and think, what if they tried this, or what if they do this? So I'm not trying to pretend like I'm immune to the thought process of, oh my gosh, what if? I'm not. I truly am not. I've had conversations with my wife about, what do you think? Do you think this would potentially happen? And what about this? And part of the reason that I asked the question, a couple of questions in terms of how are you going to deal with that relative? How are you going to respond? And who do you think it might be? And what will be your reaction? And also talk so much about keeping you guys fueled up and stouted up is because I have to do that for myself. And so I'm not saying it just to sound like I'm just talking about it, quoting a third party. I'm talking about it from my perspective as well. I will be driving down the street. I will be walking down the street and driving down the road, walking down the street, and something will pop in my mind to say, what if they try this or what if they do that? So it's not that Richard Chu does not have a sense of those things potentially happening. And any of the list of things that we've talked about, whether it be what happens with the potential deregulation and taking away this, taking away that, coming after people as it relates to this sort of, deporting people and Tom Homan coming to Chicago to try to throw down the gauntlet. I think about all that stuff. And what I say to myself is those things could happen. And what Richard, you have to ask yourself is, how are you going to be prepared? What are you going to do to be prepared? And how are you going to respond to that? So I'm not, please don't think I'm playing immune to this. I'm definitely not. I'm fully mindful of the fact that these things are part of the potential future. I just am not willing to take it laying down. Period. Somebody getting punched in the face. Maybe not literally, but that sledgehammer, there's a late comedian that I'll reference, something that he said that is very appropriate right now for those of us who are preparing for this fight. And that comedian is Robin Harris, the late Robin Harris. And he tells a joke about basically having to be a mild-mannered black man in the day-to-day livings in the country. And I'll keep, it's laced with profanity, but I'll just give you the big picture of this. Basically what he says is sometimes you have to walk around knowing that there is a behind whooping in the trunk of your car, waiting to get out. Now, I'm not going to use the other three-letter word, but you understand what I'm talking about. There is a behind whooping in the trunk of your car or in the back of your SUV if you don't have a trunk, waiting to get out. And that's kind of how I want you guys to be, is to have a behind whooping in the trunk of your car prepared for some garbage. And that doesn't mean literally, but it means on a day-to-day basis when someone comes at you with some garbage, as I've been saying, you've got that behind whipping ready to unleash on them. Okay? That's part of what I'm saying. Whether it be deregulation, whether it be taking away benefits, whether it be deporting people, whether it be any of the things, you should have the mindset that there's a behind whipping in the trunk of your car waiting to be launched out on folks. And you should be proud about that. Not mealy-mouthed about it and not weak. Be proud about it. Before we go to this break, I want to play this clip from one of the members of the House of Representatives from Vermont. And this kind of leans into something that we've been talking about.
Billionaires are running the show here. And so what I want to say to people is you thought you voted for Trump. You didn't actually. You voted for billionaires to run the show. Because who's taking orders from whom? Musk is calling the shots, and the House GOP is falling in line. And these billionaires, they don't care about us. They don't care about Americans. Elon Musk wants a big, massive tax break in the next administration. That's what this is about, folks. It's about a big freaking tax break for billionaires. That's what it's about. Don't be confused about what's going on here.
Do you think we'll be in a shutdown?
Oh, I do. I do, because they don't care. They don't care. And Johnson is so worried about his speakership that he's going to cave. He's going to cave. My Republican colleagues are going to cave because they're too afraid of being primaried to do the right thing. That's what this is about.
Thanks, Congressman.
You're welcome.
She almost slipped and said the F word. right? Henry, I know she almost slipped and said the F word, and then I know what were you going to say?
Oh man, when I was editing that, I'm like, wait, is that? Oh,
she skirted it, but it was right. Boy, it was on the tip of her tongue. She was ready to launch that F word, but she's right, and that's the kind of energy, y'all. We're talking about. That's the kind of energy we're talking about. So, bring that energy to the fight, calling it out, letting them know, no, this is how it is. This is what's going on. And I appreciate the fact that she was unapologetic about that. Now, we want to see that from them every day. There's 215 members of the Democratic members of the House of Representatives. They can launch something every single day. And then, it's just, what's the harm in doing it? There's none at all. It's all upside. All right, we're going to take let's take a quick call, and then we're going to go to break. Let's go to let's go to Victor real quickly. Victor, welcome to the show. Good morning.
Richard Chu, how do you do?
Very well.
I just want to say happy holidays to everyone out there, and a Merry Christmas, because next year it's not going to look too happy or too merry. So enjoy this now. However, I would like to point out that Elon Musk is one of 805 billionaires in this country, and he is spearheading what Donald Trump and the Republican billionaires want to do to this country. And it is Elon Musk that is blackmailing and extorting Republicans, not Democrats. Democrats have always been on point. The message by Kamala Harris and Tim Walz have always been for the American people and by the American people. They have been serving the American people. Now, Republicans are being threatened by Elon Musk to shut down the government. And it's, of course, not going to hurt the 805 billionaires, but it will hurt everybody else. That is, if they do not fold and bend over and give the billionaires what they want. And if they do that, it's going to harm every single American in this country except the billionaires. And people are going to suffer tremendously from what they want to do.
That's right.
The attack is against Republicans. They should know that if they follow through with what Elon Musk and the billionaires want, then they not only will they not be primaried, they won't even be on the ticket, because no one's going to, not even a Republican voter is going to vote for these Republicans in Congress.
Especially
if
they cut them off at the knees like that, Victor. I mean, that's an extraordinarily good point, in that they are going. I had to make a note of that. He's going after. President Musk is going after Republicans. He's not going. He's not targeting any Democrats. Because here's the thing: the Democrats are going to stand up to him and say, "Nah, dude, you're crazy." So at least how I see it. So, Victor, Merry Christmas.
Finally,
go ahead.
Let me say finally that when they shut down the government, Donald Trump is going to step in there. He's going to put on his red cape and his bulletproof diapers and save the day and say, I'm going to open the government again.
Sure.
And this is all a big show in order to get Republicans to bend at the billionaires' will, basically.
Good point.
And Donald Trump is, like you said, not only the water boy, he's the coffee boy, too.
Victor, Merry Christmas. I know that we'll probably talk early next week, but have a good weekend this weekend, okay?
Yeah, love and kisses to everyone out there.
All right, man. Be well. All right, we're going to keep pushing through. Let's. Is Big Art the winner of Fry the Coop? Yeah. Oh, we'll talk to Big Art this morning. Good morning, Mr. Chicken Man. How are you today?
I'm fine. Oh, man, good show this morning. Everybody's got, you can hear the Christmas spirit in everybody's voice. And then there's that dose of reality of what's going on. It's just been really, really good. The analysis of the incompetency of the Republicans. I mean, you got the head narcissist in charge. You're not even in charge yet.
Yeah.
But his influence, just like with the border bill, is just going on. Let's create as much crazy chaos, then I can jump in like Superman and save the day. It's just so, and like I said, they're going to eat each other, man.
Yeah.
The ones who are competent and can govern, they have to constantly fight the ones who can't. And the ones who can't constantly cause chaos and craziness, so they not so people don't see just how incompetent and useless they are.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, this is madness.
Big Art,
This is
it's
real madness.
what's so funny about it. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Last week you had the trifecta on, man. I was really enjoyed it. I think it was Margaret, Grandma Asali, and Darlene.
Yes.
You had them back to back to back, and boy, they really brought it. They really brought it. I'm like, wow, ladies.
Yeah.
Wow. But you people out there couldn't elect a female president. Listen to these women and how logical and intelligent they are and experienced. But you vote for this?
Yep.
Just yesterday I saw a commercial. And, they're talking about the government shutdown and it's going to affect TSA. They should be used to it by now. If I worked for TSA, I would be saving my money like crazy all year just as a contingency plan for the Republicans screwing up and either threatening or shutting down the government again.
Yeah.
I would, because you missed that. If you live almost pretty much check to check, you got to have some savings for when you don't get that check, because the bill collectors aren't very
amenable to saying, yeah, we'll let you go this time.
Yeah.
Oh man, too funny.
Are you going to be taking any time off, Rich, for the holiday? Or are you going to go all the way through Christmas Eve?
I'm going to go all the way through Christmas Eve. I'm going to do Monday's show and Tuesday's show will be live. Christmas show will be not a rebroadcast. It'll be a special edition of Choose Views, and then I'll be back here on Thursday and Friday of next week for sure.
Okay, all right. What about TFM?
I think this Sunday is the last family meeting show for the year, and I'll probably be on the family meeting on Sunday. So I'm looking forward to that. So that should be fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know it's about that close to that time where you guys, Eric and they'll be taking some considerable time off.
Yeah.
But I was wondering what you were going to do.
I'm going to be here getting it done, man. Getting it done every day. So I'm looking forward to it.
Really quick, Rich. Really quick. I saw this commercial yesterday. I know it was a news thing. Where, speaking of TSA and the government shutdown, it's going to affect the military.
Yeah.
And there was this woman. She was a military wife. I guess her husband's in the military, and she was talking about, well, early next month, my mortgage is still due. She had 3 children. They weren't babies, but they were like under 10 and under. Mm-hmm. And I'm sitting there screaming at the TV. So who did you vote for?
Yeah. No, I know, man.
I had compassion for her, but it's like, okay, did you vote for this, for the Orange Menace?
That's
or did
right.
you vote for Kamala?
It's that simple.
If you're in the military, I don't see how you voted for Trump if you're in the military. What's wrong with you?
I know.
It's just crazy, man.
Big Art.
Crazy.
I'm going to grab
Enjoy
another.
The holidays, man.
Oh, I will. And hopefully we'll talk next week. But yeah, holidays, goodness out to everybody from Big Art, Mr. Chicken Man.
Yeah.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate it.
Did I win a chicken?
According to Henry, you did. So he'll put you on hold and he'll talk to you about the information we need to get. Okay.
All right, no problem. Thank you so much, man. Have a great holiday, and I might call you next week since you'll be live.
Yeah,
Monday,
absolutely.
Tuesday.
I'll be here.
You gonna take off Christmas Eve, or you gonna do live Christmas Eve?
We're gonna be live Monday and Tuesday. Monday and Tuesday we're gonna be live shows, so I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, great.
All right.
Have a great weekend, man.
You too, Big Art. Thanks for the call, man.
Enjoy the football, man. A lot of good college football on. Enjoy that.
And Henry will get your information, so sit tight. We'll be with you in a moment. Let's go to, real quickly, get this one squeezed in. Let's go to Ron up in Michigan. Hey, Ron, welcome to the show. Good morning.
Good morning, Richard. Richard, did you hear about the attack on Nick Fuentes in Byrne yesterday?
No, I did not. What happened? What went down?
The first report I saw was last night on ABC, and they said some guy named Lyons, who's suspected of killing 3 people, went to Fuentes' house in Byrne. There was a shootout, and Fuentes was not, he later tweeted or something that I'm still alive, but Lyons was cornered in a shootout with the, I guess, Byrne police, and he died. But that's something that we should.
It'll be interesting to see what truth is behind all that, and we'll find out. I guess I'm looking at it now. Let's see. They claimed that he was a target. Okay, so let's wait and see how the claim bears itself out. I will. I'll keep my voice quiet on that till I know a little bit more about it, and maybe on something I'll talk about next Monday. But hey, this is the thing, Ron. Unfortunately, let's be grown folks here. There are going to be people that are going to be targeted, and I'm not advocating that. So let me be perfectly clear for anybody that says anything differently. But let's have we know that's something that's out there, and I'm saddened by it because we don't need to be that way. But the country's about to show it's behind in that space, unfortunately.
Richard, I don't have the article in front of me, but it's in the New Yorker magazine, in which they talk about people who infiltrate these right-wing groups, and they don't take the information to the FBI because they do not trust the FBI, but they post it online, and it helped in catching the killer in Charleston with the car. Mm-hmm. So. And they also warn demonstrators who are having peaceful demonstrations that, maybe 2 or 3 busloads of U-Haul packed Nazis are coming with battle gear to, battle them and cause serious harm and injuries. And that's what they're. And it's also talked about the John Brown gun clubs, and so there's people out there who are organizing, and we may have to resort to the matters for self-defense.
Yeah, without a doubt.
And you have a Merry Christmas.
You too, Ron. Thanks for the call, and stay safe, brother. Be well.
You as well. Bye-bye.
Yeah, guys, listen. The last thing I'm going to be is an advocate for violence. So let me be perfectly clear one more time. That's not coming out of my mouth or anyone's mouth that's here on WCPT at all. I am saying pay attention, because that is something that smarter folks than me have already talked about. But that being said, listen, thanks to Big Art for his comment about the show and the commentary from everybody. It's been a great show today and a great way to end this Friday before Christmas. Everybody's who called in today has been wonderful in their participation. And you guys that are hitting us with the text messages, my goodness, I can't keep up. But I'm okay with that because it means we're connecting and communicating. Shout out to our good friend Karen Byrne for TruBlu Politics podcast and her new Substack. That's going to be happening, and I'm really excited for her and the work that she's doing. And again, this has been a week where we've had some phenomenal people on the show as guests, and kudos and a hat tip again to Roderick Dixon and Alfreda Burke from Too Hot to Handle the Jazz Gospel, and to our friend Jacob Harvey over at the Studebaker Theater and the Fine Arts Building, Kurt Mellett from Hoosier Blue 63. Check out Kate Lincoln Goldfinch, who is the immigration attorney down in Texas, at the tip of the spear of dealing with one of the biggest issues that's in our country right now, and that's navigating our immigration laws. So reach out to her, send her some love. Mark Derrick in Ohio, as part of the Democratic Party in Ohio, reach out to him, as well as Mark Jersulik from the Center for American Progress. These are people who are in the fight, guys, and they're people who are also bringing us good love and spirituality during this holiday season in terms of the performances that are going on. So I'm always honored each week, each day, to be here with you guys and have fun and make us laugh, but also realize that we got to bring a sledgehammer to these parties that we're going to be going to politically, socially, and economically in the years to come. So go get that sledgehammer, sharpen up the tool, and get ready to get that body in shape like Karen and I were talking about, to be ready to swing that sledgehammer. Okay? We're going to win this, but we got to be ready. We got to be prepared to swing the sledgehammer. All right, guys, that's all for this day's show and this week. Good to be with you. We'll be back on Monday, but for the time being, I want you to take a deep breath and make your life count. We'll be back next week.
Have you heard? Affordable healthcare is better than ever. And right now there are more carriers and plans to choose from. If you're between 18 and 64 years old with a household income of $25,000 or less, this message is for you. Right now the government's Affordable Care Act is available for individual and family health coverage plans with little or no cost to you. Don't gamble with your health. Call Healthcare for All at 800-264-0899. That's 800-264-0899.
This is a WCPT moment in labor. In the summer of 1881, 2 decades after the Civil War, 20 African American laundresses met at a local church in Atlanta to form the Washing Society, a trade organization which looked to create a higher uniform wage and greater work autonomy for laundresses, also known as washerwomen. Through the help of local preachers and door-to-door canvassing, the Washing Society grew from 20 members to 3,000 in only a few weeks. The workers went on strike and faced opposition from their employers as well as the local politicians. The Atlanta City Council proposed a licensing fee for their organizing efforts. The strikers agreed to the fee in exchange for self-regulation. In the end, the City Council rejected the proposed fees and the laundresses prevailed. The impact of the strike led to increased wages for some, but showed that African American workers, including women, were vital to the New South economy. This has been a WCPT Moment in Labor. We're working for your rights.
Hi, Dad. What's new at Chico Maco?
At Chicago Community